In comic book mythology, an origin story is an account that reveals how a character gained their powers and the circumstances under which they became a protagonist or antagonist. In nerd culture, every person has an origin story that set them on the path of being a lifelong nerd. These are their stories.
Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Nerd. Our nerdy origin story series continues. This time, Nick Murphy is in the hot seat. He has been arrested. He's no longer a detective. He is a suspect. But this time, we got Christian James over there filling in as my detective partner.
Yes.
And I'm Corey Winter. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking to Nick Murphy and figuring out all of his nerdy story backstories, figuring out everything you nerd out on, figuring out all the stuff that you geek out on, figuring out where you start in your history with being a nerd.
Yes.
By the end of this, we'll determine if you actually are a nerd. And if you're not, then you'll be kicked out. So,
Yikes.
So let's just kick this off with your actual origin story. So what is your earliest memory that you have that was nerdy?
It's definitely video games.
Good.
I'm so old that we had. I'll tell you.
As old as you, apparently. High
Yeah,
school in
that's right.
2002.
Yeah. I remember vividly. I want to say I was turning 6 or 7. Wait, I'm gonna back up from there. My parents bought the original NES.
Heck yeah.
Or maybe my dad, I don't remember. We had the original NES, and then we get to open the little door, the garage door, and push the cartridge down, push the little thing down, and it'd pop it out. You take that one out, and it was like a brick, cassette.
Love that
thing. And you replace the cartridge. Thank you. Yeah. You put the thing in there, you push it down, you put the thing down, and you push the button, and you had the rectangle with the sharp corners. Man, that was so uncomfortable. Like so uncomfortable. I'm glad they did away with that. But then we had the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
And I want to say that we played, I think it was called Ken Griffey Jr. RBI.
Yes.
I think that's what it was. And I used to whoop my brother. My brother, I think, was 8 years older than me. I think he was. And he would get so mad that I just was able to, I just hit home runs constantly. I just play as Ken Griffey Jr. We'd play the home run derby mode, spank him.
Oh, yeah.
Just spank him. He would get so mad about it. And my dad would have to go down because we had a basement, lived in St. Louis at the time. We had a basement, and that's where the game console was. And he would just get so mad that I would just pummel him in home run derby at 4 years old.
Yeah.
He was so mad. So, yeah, I would say definitely video games. When I was coming up that same time period, we had it was a real small house, really itty bitty house. 2 bedrooms, master bedroom, then my bedroom. My sister was born. We shared a bedroom for 4 years. 1 bathroom, really small house. There was my barber shop, which I know I need to go back.
Wasn't bringing it.
My barber shop was around the corner. It was at the back of a strip mall, which I always thought was really funny. You have the mall faces one direction,
right,
but for whatever reason, at the back, in the back part of the mall, there just was a barber shop. Don't know why, but it was real small. But we go in there, and it had the stand-up console of Mortal Kombat, the very first one.
Wow.
And we get my haircut. I would love getting my haircut because I could go and play that game. And we go there, I would always get my haircut first so that I could have time while my dad was getting his haircut. I would be able to play the game. I don't think I ever made it that ladder, the ladder of opponents that you have to face.
Oh, yeah.
I could never get up to, or I think I got to Gordo one time. and then he just, with all four arms, like ripped my body apart and just like threw me aside or something. I could never get past him. To get to what was the big guy with the skull mask? What was his name?
Shang Tsung.
No, that was the Soul Taker.
Oh yeah. I
You know
see
what I'm
his
talking
face. Yeah.
Whoever that
What is
is,
his name?
because Gordo was his bodyguard or something,
I
right?
don't remember.
I don't remember either.
So same question for you that apparently we had with Christian, because you both have Mortal Kombat backstories.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you were exposed to Mortal Kombat? Was that ESRB
Maybe
rating doing work?
Maybe first grade, I think.
All right.
6 or 7.
Love it.
Yeah, it was. But I don't really remember it being all that bloody. Like today. I mean, it's those fatalities and the.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that bad.
Yeah, like today it's like grotesque. Like it's horrible.
Yeah, even like with the bodies being ripped apart, it was like a spurt of blood. And that'd be it.
Yeah. I remember thinking, was it Cyrax? I think that was the guy, the cyborgs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember you punched him and the black blood would come out? I thought that was, that's so smart. I guess oil, not black
Oh,
blood.
yeah.
But I thought that was funny too. Like, or not funny, but it was like, oh, look at
Clever.
technology.
Yeah.
Wow, they can make it black instead of red. I thought that was neat. But yeah, like Liu Kang was my dude, and Raiden, Liu Kang and Raiden were my two. But yeah, I think I was like 6 or 7 when I first started playing that.
Now that you guys mentioned it, I played Mortal Kombat 4 in 64 when I was probably 5 or 6. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Weird.
it was. I would never like today's Mortal Kombat. I would never let my kids play that. Like my young kids today,
Yeah.
I wouldn't let them play that. Yeah, no.
You had to be like 16.
But also, like we were tougher back then. Like just I don't know. We didn't like we could see that and just be like, okay, I know that I'm not going to maul a human being because that's not the right thing to do.
Plus, I don't have powers.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can't shoot.
I can't rip a guy's head off. with
dragons
bare
out of my
hands.
feet or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't. I so many times I tried to do the bicycle kick. So many times. So many times.
All right. So that's your origin story.
Mhm.
So now let's hit up all of the stuff you nerd out on. So let's just list it out. So what do you geek out on?
Video games for sure.
Mhm.
Still video games. Definitely sports. I love sports. I was literally watching football before I came over here.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. The game was the people I want to watch got off the field anyway because it's preseason. I like techie things like gadgets and doodads and whatnot.
Okay.
I'm not like good. Like we just found a GoPro and a small microphone that was in the band room that I think an old band director bought forever ago and just never used. So I brought it home and I'm going to start messing with it tomorrow just to see what we can do with it, how we can use it. So I'm looking forward to that. Music for sure. That's like my passion.
Surprised it
100%.
wasn't like the first one you said.
It's because I'm around it all the time. It's annoying.
It's getting that further and further down the list.
Yeah. I kind of like to dabble in a lot of stuff. I like to know a lot of things. I like to, as our old friend Wendy Williams used to say, I'm a cornucopia of useless information. So I like to dabble
not
in all
the
stuff.
talk show host.
Not the talk show
No,
host.
got it.
Not the
Yeah,
girl who
from high
passed
school,
out.
yeah.
Another, yeah.
Oh, she went to UNA too, didn't she?
Mhm.
She got out in 4 years though.
Yeah.
She got
She
out
was
real
like,
quick.
"Wow."
Yeah, she got out real quick.
All right. So let's actually just start with the music one.
Okay.
Because apparently that's the hot topic. So, where did your love of music start?
Goodness. I think it started in middle school in 5th grade, which would have been 90.
What? 2000?
Oof.
Oh, middle school.
Yeah, middle school. 98?
Yeah, 98, 99.
I think 98 is when I was in middle school. I started middle school. Yeah, because September 11 happened when I was in 7th grade.
Like how that's
01.
always the checkpoint.
Yeah.
It is.
When was
That's where I was,
9/11?
yeah.
I was in technology class in 10th grade.
In 10th grade?
7th grade.
Oh, 7th grade?
Yeah.
So how were you in high school?
Wait,
and-
not 7th grade.
I was gonna
Wait,
say, you had to have been in
8th
8th grade. Yeah, you had to have been in 8th grade.
Yeah. Shut up.
So
Wait. Yeah, that's right.
you had to be 8th grade for you. I was in government class with Mr. Stagner back in the day. What were we talking about? Music.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, no, I joined a band. So back in that day, we could in fifth grade, you either could do band or you could do PE.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to do PE. It's not necessarily that like I was afraid of it. I just didn't want to do it. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't care about it. And so I joined band, and we did the instrument test day. I remember specifically I wanted to play saxophone, trumpet, or drums. Those are the three that I wanted to do.
To play drums.
I started with for the instrument thing, the instrument test. I started on saxophone, and it made sense, but I was just like, this is too much, too many buttons. I don't want to do this. Then I went to percussion, and I was like, this is cool, but like, there's no like, because I don't know what a marimba was yet.
Yeah.
But like, there's no like pitch to like, there's no, I'm just hitting stuff. Like, this is no fun.
Yes.
Like, it's fun, but it's like there's no like melody, there's no beat to it or whatever, or like, there's beat. You know what I mean? Shut up. But then I got to trumpet, and I was like, okay, this kind of puts it all together because I've got buttons, I've got pitch, I can do the rhythm. I get this. Okay, I can understand. So I ended up playing trumpet, and I remember I was a third trumpet for a long time. I think we had 10 trumpets. I was a third trumpet for like all of, and I wasn't bad, but I was a really good third trumpet player, or third or second trumpet player. And I just remember thinking, man, I have got to like move up. Like I want to get up to second trumpet or first trumpet, move up there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first, what got me. I vividly remember this. What got me in music. Mr. Dowdy, Donald Dowdy, shout out, old DD. He told us on right before our first Christmas concert for fifth grade. This is my very first public anything, and he said, "When you finish, I think we played Jingle Bells out of the method book or something, like super easy." And he said, "When you finish, I want to stand you guys up. You're going to stand up, and all your mamas and daddies are going to stand up and clap for you, and you're going to try your best not to smile, but you're going to. So just go ahead and smile, and we'll sit down. We'll play our next song." I said, "Okay, I'm not going to smile. I'm going to smile. What are you talking about? This is trumpet. Shut up." And we play Jingle Bells, and everybody claps, and then he stands us up, and I find my mom, and she's clapping. I'm like, I'm about to smile. I'm about to smile. The smile happens. I said, okay, this is like the greatest feeling in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Currently right now. Jingle Bells got me. So yeah, and then I remember the spring concert of that same year. This is so silly, but I remember 8th grade advanced band, which is that's what you were looking after, right? Like you want to be an 8th grade advanced band, by God. And they played Watermelon Man. Yeah. And I was like, that is the coolest song I've ever heard in my life. I got to play Watermelon Man. And that was the goal. That was the goal all through middle school, was to get good enough to play Watermelon Man. And I did.
What was the highest chair you got?
In middle school? I think I might have been a second trumpet. Like in my 8th grade year.
Damn,
so maybe
slacker.
I just never well, there was so much talent. Like we had so many good players. Like that's why Sparkman, got good so fast. Yeah. Cause like we were just Monrovia was turning out, just brilliant player after brilliant player. I want to say I got like maybe 7th. Cause I think we eventually grew to like 13 or 14 trumpets. I think I was like right in the middle. So I was like on the low end of the second trumpets, I think. Yeah. Now, when I got to high school,
I was going to say, high school. That's where things changed.
Yeah. Now, when I got to high school, I stayed on third trumpet the first year, the marching season. But boy, you heard them third trumpets. Let me tell you. Then the spring semester concert season, I moved up to second chair or second part. Then Mr. Lashley retired, and we got in Mr. Havley. And Mr. Havley didn't know where anybody sat, so he said, "Raise your hand if you're first trumpet." I went.
Bold.
Whoa. And that year we played Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I didn't know. I was like, yeah, sign me up. And then we started off with In the Stone. I was like, oh my God. Like literally, like
the best, worst mistake.
100%. Like it's nothing but trumpets.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I was doing hot cross buns 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
What am I doing? But it worked out.
Did
So
How'd that season go?
it went really well. That was the year we got brand new uniforms.
Yeah.
We went to McGavick High School, I think, and won.
How do you remember the high school competition that you went to?
Because that was the only one we went to. We only went to one that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember it so vividly because we got the new uniforms maybe 2 weeks before that. We wore them at the home game that we got them. And then we went to McGavick High School in Nashville or South Nashville. And remember, it rained so hard, but it didn't rain until we got on the field. We were hoping to get off the field with our brand new uniforms. We were hoping to get off the field before the rain started. And as literally, drum majors, is your band ready? Whoosh.
Yeah.
And we were just out there marching Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire out there with our brand spanking new uniforms.
In the rain.
And it rained so hard that the red dye soaked through and got on our show shirts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was wild. Wild. So yeah, it worked out.
But then you eventually switched away from trumpet.
I did. I don't know why, truly. I kind of wish I'd kept playing. I tell people that I got bored with trumpet, but I really didn't. I just kind of wanted to do something else. So I switched over to tuba, and that's what I eventually got my degree in. My undergraduate degree was in tuba. And I just kind of liked it. It was less work. Like it just, I don't know, because I'm not
Truly.
like a truly lazy person, but I don't know. It was more fun. Like playing a bass line's more fun.
Like if
to
the
me.
work that you're doing is comparable, it makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I can explain it, but I just really liked some of the music that we were playing. The tuba parts were a little bit more like I would always listen to them. Like I'm bass oriented with my ears. I always go to bass first.
Same. Yeah.
And so I was like, it just kind of makes sense. It took me a while to learn bass clef. I will 100% admit. Because with trumpet and treble clef playing in B flat, which sorry, this is going over some of your heads, but playing in B flat, like the note that's on the page is the note that's on the page. Like if it's a C, you don't push anything down. On tuba, there has to be an accidental in order for, there has to be a flat in order for you to not play anything. In order for it to be open, right? It has to say B flat in order for you not to play anything, or to push any buttons down. But there was a song we played called Celebrations, I think, but it's technically atonal, it doesn't have a key signature. And I swear every time I got to B flat, what I thought was B flat was actually B natural. I hammered some of those B flats, and the band director was like, "Bruh, you have got." Because I played this is back when the bands would play at graduation down there, but they would play all their concert music beforehand. And I was just over there nailing some B flats while they were supposed to be B naturals, man. Just obliterating them, honking. But yeah, so I switched to tuba and got a scholarship to UNA. Paid a lot of my education. So yeah, eventually went to choir, all that stuff.
So I think we have established a pattern of lying with how you told Mr. Haley that you wanted to, or that you were first chair, and you lied about being bored of trumpet. So I will remind you, you are under oath. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
I told the truth about the lying.
But it makes this thing, is your life a lie?
Ooh.
I plead the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll circle back around to music, I'm sure. But what else? Aside from music, you mentioned sports ball.
Yes, sports ball. I played football for a hot second with the Monrovia Panthers. Is that what
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't long.
One of those
Hawks.
Community leagues.
Pike
Oh.
leagues.
Yeah. I didn't do it for long. But I did. I played. I tried out for the baseball team. Was not coordinated enough. Could not hit the bat. Could not hit the ball with the bat. I could catch, kinda.
What does that mean?
It's the baseballs are terrifying. Baseballs are terrifying. So you just don't want to get hurt. I think that's but I was in middle school. But that's the biggest fear I think a lot of people have to overcome is just the fear of the ball. Even though they're not hitting, kids aren't hitting the ball that hard, but it's still terrifying because it's hard, like it hurts. I play a little basketball, not organized basketball, but a little bit. I just like watching it. Like it's you pick up games and stuff like that, neighborhoods and stuff.
Disorganized basketball.
Disorganized basketball, absolutely. It's I just enjoy it. Sports are fun. It's a good way to, like, as I say, wring out my brain. Like I don't have to, I can just watch, competition. So yeah, sports ball.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
Foosball, 100%.
Who's your team?
I don't know that I have a team, truly.
Just a football fan.
I just like I like players. Like I love Aaron Rodgers, big Aaron Rodgers fan. I like hating the Cowboys.
Everyone does.
I really like hating the Cowboys. I really, really enjoy that. I really like the Crimson Tide, of course, Roll Tide. I don't mind Auburn. I know I'm gonna get crucified for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I just like sports. Like I like football. I like the teams. I like
So you grew up in St. Louis. Are you a Cardinals fan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're hit and miss though.
Yeah. Mostly miss right now.
Mostly miss.
I have been to 3 Cardinals games, one in the old Busch Stadium,
nice,
way back in the day, and 2 in the new Busch Stadium, which that stadium is like gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Really expensive though.
Yeah.
Hot dog is very expensive there. But yeah. Love hockey too. Absolutely love hockey. I've been to 3 Predators games, one of which was a playoff game.
Wow.
Which nuts. That was the most electric, like
I mean, hockey games in general are kind of like that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But this was like, so these 2 were rivals. They're our rivals. My choir director in college, in undergrad, Dr. Ian Lepke, hello. I'm probably going to send him this episode and then make him subscribe. He took me and a couple other faculty members at UNA. I was not a student anymore. I was not a student. He wasn't kidnapping me as a student and taking me somewhere. That's not what happened. But he took us to. He's from Winnipeg, up in Canada, and the Winnipeg Jets made it to the playoffs, and they were playing against the Nashville Predators. His wife is a big Predators fan. He's a big Jets fan. Mm-hmm. So like, we absolutely have to go to one of these games. So of course we got nosebleed seats up in 300s. But the way the Bridgestone Arena is built and the way hockey is kind of set up, there's really not a bad seat. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see the puck every once in a while, but really where we were sitting behind one of the nets. So you could see kind of everything. And it was game 2, I think. Went to double overtime. I think it was a Tuesday. So I had to go to work the next day.
Oh God!
Oh my wow!
Boy, and I was teaching. That was my second year teaching at the place I was at, and I was worthless. I think I gave them crossword puzzles or something.
You're watching a movie.
Not even a movie. Just crosswords.
Don't talk to me, y'all. I was just live. It was live. It was loud. It was. I think the Jets won that game, but it was. Man, that's like a core memory for me. Just the whole electricity of the whole thing. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
So you mentioned Dr. Lepke, choir.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you get into choir?
So I joined this fraternity called Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, Fraternity of America Incorporated.
It's a long name.
Yes, especially when you have to memorize it all and who all the presidents and stuff was. But I joined that fraternity, and within that fraternity, we have a songbook, and we have choir practices, regular choir practices. I had never sung before, sang, whichever one it is. I was not in choir in high school. I was only in band, so I could read music, but I had also switched to tuba, so I could also read bass clef music too. So I could read both treble and bass. And we did some voicing stuff with the music director at the time. And he said, you actually have a pretty good ear. Like you can kind of sing pretty well. So he put me on second tenor which I think was good for my ears because it's not the melody, it's not the bass line. Really, like your strongest singers that you want to put them in the harmony parts because they have they can make the harmonies pop out and stuff. So That's how I got into it. And then the next semester after we crossed, I pledged with Josh, actually, ironically. I forgot about that.
Call that again.
Oops. Shout out Josh and Michael. The next semester, I auditioned for chamber choir and for collegiate singers, and I got into chamber choir, and I was very surprised by that because chamber choir is like the elite. It's the elite well, it's not the elite audition group. It's the auditioned group. Collegiate singers kind of everybody joins, and then chamber choir is the one where he has to choose you to be in it.
Yeah.
And then beyond that is vocal jazz, where it's even smaller. I want to say collegiate singers was like 50 to 60 voices. Chamber choir is more like 25 to 30, and then vocal jazz is like 12.
Yeah.
So it's very selective at that point. So it's the best of the best. And I was super honored. I remember I was in. Kids, this is not the thing to do. I was in English class, and Dr. Lepke called me, and he said, "Hey, are you interested in being in chamber choir?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "Oh, great. When can you come and see me?" And I said, "I can come and see you after this class." He said, "Are you in class right now?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You could have called me back later. Do not answer your phone during class. Go back in class." And he hung up the phone. And I was just like,
Did you at least leave the room to answer?
I did, yeah. I left the room.
Yeah, I just imagined you just
No.
like, yeah, what's up?
No. No, I did leave the room. I walked out of the room, but that would have been really funny. But no, like he called me and I said yes, and it kind of just took off from there. We did 2 European tours while I was there. We went to Ireland and Italy, and at that point, I was like, okay, this is what I am supposed to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Which is why I'm doing it now.
So I know you spoke about the different voicings in choir. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah. So traditional choir setup, you're going to have soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, which is soprano would be the highest female voice, alto would be the lowest female voice, tenor would be the higher male voice, and bass would be the lower male voice. Within those, you have different subcategories as well. You have a coloratura soprano, which is like the super, super high opera singers. You've got a mezzo soprano, which is like in between a soprano and an alto. She's like just kind of floating around right there. Can sing high, can kind of sing lower than a regular soprano, but not as low as an alto. You have a contralto, who's like a super, super low alto. Like I'm trying to think of someone. I can't think of anybody, but it's a low very, very low voice woman, like a woman who has a tenor range. You have a counter tenor, which is a tenor who has a high voice, kind of like the boy tenors that you see if you watch church services with Christmas. The boy tenor's way up there. You have baritone, which I'm a baritone, which is kind of in between a tenor and a bass. Can sing up high. Can to like the lower tenor range, lower to mid tenor range, but not as low as a bass. And then basses sing, down below the staff within reason. Then you have the contrabass or the sub bass or the let's say call them octavists, which are they're just like hanging off the end of the piano, like singing way down there. It's nuts, and it's always funny too because they're the most unassuming people. Like they're as skinny as this can right here, but yet they're like. It's crazy, but yeah, you can have there's women ensembles, there's men ensembles, there's children's choirs, and then different variations within that. I don't know, choir's cool, man. There's so much to it, obviously, because I can't stop talking about it, but yeah, I think that's the nerdy thing that I have is choir in music. So yeah,
especially with like. Of course, we all have familiarity with music and things like that. Choir was always interesting to me, is especially doing what I did, especially in bands, stuff like that, having to be more familiar with how notes sound. Is that a little bit more difficult, or is it a little bit easier in choir?
It's easier because, for one, and it really does depend on what you know about music, but like, with band music, all that you see is your part. Right. Like if I give you, if we're playing, marching band music, I give you the bass drum too. There you go. That's all that you see. I guess just bass drum. Yeah, you see all five. Yeah. But for you, I'd give you the tuba part, and that's all that you see, right?
Yeah.
For me, as a choir student, the same thing that the conductor sees is the same thing I see. So I can see everybody's parts, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, or whatever configuration it is. And I can say, okay, well, my note fits into this chord how? If I'm singing bass, it's probably the root. It's probably the bottom of it, right? If I sing tenor, I see, oh, I'm singing in fifth with the bass. So I need to make sure that my pitch is right in tune. Maybe I need to sing a little stronger to help emphasize, So there's some theoretical things that you need to know about it. But if your choir director teaches you those things, then you can identify them yourself without him having, or her, sorry, without them having to tell you what it is. So being able to see everything really, really does help, and it can influence kind of how you sound as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just over here picturing what a bass drum part would look like if it was only one drum.
Can you imagine?
Like
just nothing but rest.
Yeah.
Especially like second bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All upbeats.
100%. Yeah.
All right. Before we move into the quick fire stuff, anything else? Just off the top of your head, you want to geek out on?
So I've gotten into, since I guess I fell into the Marvel world a little bit. I'm not like super into it, like super like to where I'm not watching the TV shows. I just not that I'm not watching them. I just haven't. I would. I just
Sounds
haven't.
Like you are not watching.
Yeah,
them.
they've been out for a while.
Well, yeah, that's fair. So like, yeah, going to see Doctor Strange. Was it 2? The most recent one that came out?
Multiverse Madness. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why is Wanda so mad? Why is she so upset?
Big complaint about the movie is a lot of people don't agree she should have been that mad, but okay.
Well, either way, though,
There's a lot of back and forth. Yeah.
I didn't know any of the reason why she was upset to begin with. I mean, the movie did explain it eventually, but like, it would have. I probably would have been more invested with it if I'd seen the TV show. But I say that to say, like I love the Marvel movies. I was never really a comic book person. My dad had a lot of comic books because he kind of came up during the 60s and 70s. So he had that was the big thing to do when you were a kid was comic books and stuff. So he has a lot of those. But I really have enjoyed Marvel, the stuff that they've been putting out. DC, meh. Yeah.
All right.
I something that I did think about though the other day, going back with music and tying this all together into a nice little bow. I just got Hans Zimmer's live concert. I got one of his albums for his live concerts, and he had on there the Wonder Woman score, which is incredible.
Yeah.
He had followed that up with the Man of Steel score. And I was like, is he the only person who's scored both Batman and Superman movies? I feel like he is. Because John Williams did the Superman movies in the 70s.
Danny
and 80s.
Elfman did Batman.
Danny Elfman did Batman.
Yeah.
So I guess
But
John Williams,
no. John Williams has not, to my knowledge, has ever done a Batman.
So probably Hans Zimmer.
So yeah, Hans Zimmer has done both of them, which is neat. That's very cool. I thought. That's a random thought that popped in my head. Like he's the only one. Like he's done. I don't know. Him and Michael Giacchino are kind of becoming the bigger names in film scores nowadays.
Shout out to you guys. Love you.
Shout out.
All right, let's do some quick fire stuff. What is your favorite video game of all time?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Out of all time.
It's
a relatively recent game, so just check
Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right.
I guess all the games in the past had to really step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they better get better.
Or yeah.
I'll wait for that to happen. Okay. So what about favorite movie of all time?
Saving Private Ryan.
Wow. That's a heavy movie to be the favorite of all time.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm great.
Sure.
I'm great. It's the perfect movie to me. It's
hard to beat Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg.
It was it has really high highs, has really low lows, and it takes you. It feels real. I don't know. There's a connection to it, like just an immediate connection with the characters. I just thought it was a well executed movie, and it deserves all the accolades. I would say 2, the second movie.
Yeah.
Probably Philadelphia.
Wow. You just like the heavy movies, don't you?
I just like to feel.
It's like Tom Hanks.
I like to feel.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't?
I'm trying to think of a third one real fast.
Think of a happy one.
I was going to say Dunkirk.
God.
Wow.
I loved that movie.
Wow.
That movie was so good. At the end of it, oh, I'm getting emotional now. At the end of it, when Churchill was reading the thing about about Dunkirk when they got back over to England or whatever, they had Edward Elgar's Enigma variations playing. They had it interweaved into like this futuristic like soundscape type thing, and I was like sitting in the audience like with my friend just like like I was so emotional about it. It was so good. It was purely a musical thing. Like the speech was great, like the movie was really good, but just that moment of it got me. Okay. Follow number 4, 1917, but go ahead.
Fantastic movie.
Incredible.
But really no like Toy Stories or
it's all right.
All right.
I mean, you can't beat war movies, man.
I guess not.
Especially like Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Oh, that was a good one. Andrew Garfield.
One.
Yeah, I think it's him. I think I don't like him. Sorry. Can we do a team maker of actors?
Sure.
Production meeting. Hold on.
Yes, sure. We sure can. Write that down. All right. So let's get back to music real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many of these little itty bitty questions I could ask, and I know all of them could lead to big
I got
long
one.
tangents.
I'll ask them quickly. Answer them quickly.
I'm the one asking questions here.
My bad. Sorry.
What were you going to say?
Favorite piece of music, not one that you've ever like sang on, played, but like just.
What if I have?
Is that disqualified?
I have
No,
it, but
yeah.
Favorite piece. It's
a good noise for podcast
Sorry.
listeners.
Sorry about that, everyone. Goodness, that's not fair. Favorite piece. Definitely have to. Enigma Variations is up there. There's 13 variations, and then the theme, which makes 14 total pieces. So it's 14 different movements in that. I think that piece is like 20 minutes, maybe. Goodness, favorite piece. Can I break it down into different categories? Like favorite band, orchestra, choir? Can I do that?
I was going to do that anyway. So yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, there we go.
Favorite band piece. This is no easier. Let me go to orchestra. favorite orchestral piece is probably. I'm going to go with the Fantasia on the Theme by Thomas Tallis.
Wow. Okay.
By Riff Vaughan Williams. 17 minutes of just it's for string choir, as they say, otherwise known as the wire choir. Okay. But it's just lush. It's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece. 17 minutes of that. Band piece. Oof. I'll say. I feel like it might have been Blue Shades is up there.
Oh yeah.
I really like Blue Shades. Maybe a little Lincolnshire Posy as well.
I was going to say Linkin Park. I was like, okay.
Yeah, right on.
Genre change.
For you Percy Granger fans out there, Lincolnshire Posy is great. Choir piece. There's so many. Maybe I'm trying to think of one that we've done that I really have enjoyed. God, I don't know, man. There's so many. This is hard.
It's okay to skip.
Yeah, let's skip. I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Right
I'll leave it in the comments. How about that?
There you go.
I hate you.
I'm asking these hard hitting questions out here. Trying to get to the truth.
Yeah. I promise you, it's going to come to me in another answer.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell it.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who's your favorite artist?
Like
Any.
probably Bruno Mars.
Oh wow. Okay.
Dude is like the king of originality right now. In a time where so much stuff sounds the same, his stuff always sounds different. Like no matter if it's him or him with Anderson .Paak or his old stuff sounds different than even stuff today. I appreciate Bruno Mars so much. I would say him. If I could go to see a Bruno Mars concert, I would in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Nice.
But his
Why not?
concerts
I've
are
guessed that.
expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
All right. Favorite. I don't think we actually even ever asked you this when you first joined the podcast. Who is your favorite comic book character?
Spider-Man.
See, that's mine, so I don't know if that's allowed.
Do you have a specific Spider-Man? 'Cause that might be doable.
Like I said, I never really read comics, but so really, kind of all of mine is based off of either TV or movies.
That's fine.
I've kind of been into Miles Morales recently, but I think that's a lot of the reason. A lot of it is just because of how good the
movies have been.
Two recent movies have been. Because I didn't really know much about Miles Morales until Across the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse, the first one. But I'd have to say Spider-Man. I think he's like Deadpool without the ridiculousness.
Exactly.
Like Deadpool's way too far sometimes. It's like that's okay. But Spider-Man's like he's powerful, but he has weaknesses. He's a well-grounded character, and
he's snarky.
He's got an attitude, which I like. And he's witty. I like the witty attitude.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man.
All right. Who would you cosplay as right now if you could cosplay as anybody? You have all the resources available. Brittany's going to help you build the costume. Who would you cosplay as?
I would be an overweight aged Black Panther. Like a close to retirement Black Panther.
It's so oddly specific.
I like that.
Brittany, make it happen.
Like I would I'll fight crime, but you got to come to me. If you like, you got to come over here. Like, come here,
make
come
it
here.
my problem.
yeah. Like, come.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Bob's Burgers.
Wow.
Bob's Burgers, 100%.
And that's just a solid choice. Yeah.
I watch it it's the thing that I can go home after a long day of thinking, where I can just wring my brain out and laugh at stupidity.
Yeah.
And I've almost got Tina Belcher's moan down.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
I'm working on Bob's Oh My God, but it's hard. I can't do it.
So would Tina be your favorite character?
No, I think it's Bob. But like Tina's up there. Tina's ridiculous. I think Bob is my favorite because Bob is me.
Yeah.
Bob is me. Like I'm like a more athletic Bob. But like I can run down a city block at least and not get tired. But like, I think just because like the three of them, Jean, Louise, and Tina, are my students at all times.
Yes.
Yeah.
At all times. So like I'm constantly just, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please stop touching that. Yeah, that's me all the time.
All right.
So yeah.
Christian, what have we not asked him yet?
This is always like a really generic one that always gets asked in these kind of things is if you could meet, we'll say, since we're big music heavy people, if you could meet an artist, composer, dead or alive,
you're coming with me. Sorry.
Who would it be?
Do I have to do just one? Can I do like 5?
Top 3.
3? Okay. I would say number 1. So like I don't really want to meet this person, but like I want them to listen to their music updated.
What?
Like how like their music, like how their music sounds with today's orchestras, because orchestras sounded very different back then,
right,
compared to now. And then just like how their music has been commercialized, and like I want this person to come and get their check. Like this is a fat check. But I would say Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. I would want to bring him back. He's probably not the most tolerant person in the world, but I would still want to bring him back and like have him just listen, like just look and listen, like, hey, your stuff is like, you are like, because he wasn't very well liked in his lifetime. Yeah. Like people were very jealous of him. He didn't really get out much. He very much stayed where he was. He traveled around Germany and stuff, but he didn't like go out and promote himself or anything, because that really wasn't the thing to do.
Yeah.
So like, just I would love to like just sit him in a church and just have someone play his organ music and just like see what his reaction would be. I think that would be so cool. So that's one. I'd love to meet Bruno Mars. Kind of pick his brain, sit down at a piano and just like talk music with him. That'd be really cool. So I got one dead one really dead one, and one alive one. Let me pick.
I thought that was two different. Okay,
I'll pick one medium dead one. Because that seems to be most of the canon in our industry. Actually, no. I would love to meet John Elliott Gardner, who is alive. He is a choir conductor, orchestra conductor. I think he predominantly works in Paris, and he's like the mind in choral music and in orchestral music. He studied everything. Take that back. Sorry, John Elliott Gardner.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry.
And replace.
The person I want to meet is Leonard Bernstein.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He's
getting that check.
Let me tell you, yeah, just for that West Side Story movie alone. But no, he's like the type of, when I write music like him. Like he's the type of conductor, composer, interpreter. Like, I don't know, just every recording that he makes as a conductor, I always get a copy of that. So like, no matter what the piece is, I might get a John Elliott Gardner version of it, but I'll definitely get a Leonard Bernstein version of it. His interpretations are just, they're so good. So good. And I could watch him conduct all day. He's got a video of him conducting Haydn's 88th Symphony, I think the fourth movement. He turns around to the audience and he says, "Hey, these musicians are so good. They're so talented. They don't need me to really conduct them. Really, all my job is just to start them and then just let them go." And so he turns back around to the audience and he goes, "Bum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-da." And he just puts his hands down and he just like starts conducting them with his face. Like he just like smiles and they get happy. And then he frowns and they get upset. And then he'll like throw a cue with his forehead, just like, and then they get quiet. And then he just takes a breath and they start. It's like it's nuts. You got to find it's Bernstein conducts with face. Type that into YouTube. After you watch this video, go type that into YouTube and just watch it. I think it's like 3-4 minutes. It's incredible.
Well, last opportunity. Speak your piece. Anything else you want to geek out on before we wrap this up?
No, I think I've stated my case. Like I'm a big music junkie. I like video games. Movies are fun.
Movies are fun.
I like my friends. Friends are fun. I'm getting into cooking. I like cooking now, which is not something I ever did like before.
Yeah.
And podcasting. I like podcasting.
Yay.
Good.
All right. Well, I don't think we have anything to hold you. I think you're free to go. You are nerd. Oh,
non-dominant.
Yeah.
Non-dominant?
Yeah.
This one's even worse.
It just looked
I can't let it go. Like my finger is stuck.
for our podcast listeners.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, podcast know what's going on.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Christian, thank you for being a good partner.
Oh yeah. Anytime.
Nick, thank you for being a good suspect, guilty person.
You're a good person.
Make sure if you are watching our video, you click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave some comments. If you share some of the nerdy hobbies that Nick has, make sure you let him know in the comments below. Make sure you click
I will read them.
Oh, you're gonna read all of them?
All of them.
Oh, that's
Some
nice. That's very sweet of you.
Some of them.
Make sure you click the little bell button so you always get notified when we post new videos. If you're listening over on podcast, make sure you go to youtube.com/@eatsleepandnerd to follow along in visual form. But all of that said, let's wrap this up. Case closed.
Boom.
So Nick, I don't know if you've done this before, so I'm gonna be put on the spot here. What are 3 things that nerds should be doing before they go and watch the rest of our videos?
Stretch.
It's a good start.
Potty.
You should probably potty before you stretch. Any order, it's fine.
Yeah, any order. Potty. No, I got it. Sorry. Stretch. Potty. Charge your cell phone.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I didn't do that actually.
And as always, eat, comma, sleep,
Oh,
comma, nerd.
take it easy, people.